Hello and welcome to another session, Solving Tactics on JustTempo.com with the Advocate. This set is 1700 to 1800 mixed. Let's go ahead and get started without any sort of preamble, blah, 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 blah. You guys know the rule, like know the deal already, I'm sure. Hmm. So I could play knight c6 trying to save my knight. What's the material balance here? I'm a queen down. Yeah, I'm just a queen down. Holy shit. Um, if I could somehow get two knights hitting f6, I could mate. Like, if I got... Is there any way I can stop the queen from defending f6? Like, knight c6. And the queen would need to play... Any, yeah, so okay, so after knight c6, he needs to give me back the queen. Wait, I can also play... Oh, that's it. There it is. Knight d7. That's it. The cherry on the cake. Knight d7. If queen takes, knight takes f6 mates. What about after bishop e7? I'd love to play like rook e8 mate, but the rook's on a8. So if knight d7, bishop e7, wait, so is that knight d7, bishop e7, knight e takes f6 check, bishop takes f6 check, rook e8 check, queen takes e8, and then knight takes f6. Holy shit. Wow, that is a beautiful, beautiful problem. I think that's it. I think I think that's a fully forced line. Knight d7, bishop must go to e7. Knight takes, bishop must take, rook takes, queen must take, and then knight takes f6 mate. Damn. That is that is something truly spectacular. Vukovic. Vukovic was the guy who wrote The Art of the Attack, right? Oh, buddy. Oh, that's so beautiful. Uh, I don't think that was such a difficult problem to see once you see the mate on f6, but figuring out how to do it. Like knight c6 seems like a good start. That was where I started. But then I realized after bishop e7, this would be equality. So knight takes, rook takes here. You're not doing much. What's the computer line? Knight c6, bishop f8. Okay, yeah, that's more of the same. Like he wins a piece, I win a piece. Or is it? Yeah, yeah. So that's the same. Man, unbelievable. That's just really beautiful. So I'm gonna give him all of my pieces to checkmate. This is hilarious. Rook h8 check, king h8, rook h2 check, king g8, rook h8. Go away, go away, go away. There we go. King g8, rook h8 check again, king takes h8, queen h3 check, king g8, then queen h7, king f8, queen h8. That's not checkmate. Whoops. It's not checkmate? Really? Queen h3, king g8. Is it really not? Really, really? There are multiple ways to threaten mate in this position, though. There's rook c2, queen c2, there's rook h2. If rook c2, rook takes g6. So maybe queen c1. Queen c1, king f8, queen check would win the rook. So probably rook e8 in that position. Then I could double, since the rook can no longer take on g6. But the queen can take on d4 with check, but then king h1 and I'm fine. Then f3, but then queen c8 mate. Wait, queen c8's not mate. Bishop f8. Rook check, bishop takes f8. Rook check, king takes, queen takes f8 mate. Man, I can't. It's frustrating that I can't get rook h8 check to work. It's probably a part of the problem, but I don't quite see it. Queen a6 threatens mate. Queen c1 threatens mate. Queen a6, queen b8. Huh. You could go for something simple like queen f3, queen f5, queen h8. h8, queen f3, queen f3, king f8, rook check, king e7. And I mean, it's not the safest square for the king. Maybe I'm still made queen f3, king f8, rook h7, rook h8, king e7, rook h7. This would also stop f5 check, f3 check, queen takes check, king h2 is now safe. Yeah, I think that one of the raw problems, so queen a6, if queen a6, queen check, king h2, f3 check. So I don't think my queen can actually leave the back rank. My queen can go to c1, but she can't go up unless I'm also blocking the f pawn. So she can go to f3, or else she must stay on the back rank. So queen c1, rook e8. I still can't get it to work. It's just so difficult to believe that doesn't work. Rook check, king takes, rook check, king g, rook check, king takes, queen check. And I can't play queen 8. Queen check. Queen takes e6. King f, queen f7 mates, queen g, king h, queen mates, king f. Yes, okay. Motherfucker, that took so long. Ah! Did I fuck it up? Yeah, I fucked it up. Oh, oh man. I got a little bit frustrated with myself there and just bombed the problem because I wasn't paying attention. Oh man. Oh, that feels bad. That's so embarrassing. That's so embarrassing. The problem with queen e1 or queen e8 check was that bishop blocks, and I saw that in the other line, but I didn't see that in this line just because I was being stupid. I want to trap this queen. It's not the world's most convincing queen trap, but it kind of feels like it's there. There's also f. No. I don't know, man. That feels like a queen trap. Hmm. I could try to get the queen to h4 hitting f2, but I'm not so certain what that's going to do for me. I could sack on f2, but bishop g4, queen takes. If g6, if g6, no, he has this square. But then I could play knight e7 taking it away. Or knight e1 taking it away. So g6, if queen h6, I would have bishop f, and then he's out of squares. So he can't go to h6. So g6 and queen f3 is the only square. Now I can play knight e1. And he can't take on e1 because I have rook takes e1 checkmate. So he would have nowhere to go. So g6, queen f3, knight e1. And what's the defense? g3? No, he wants to get at least the pawn for... So this is the price white pays for his lack of development. So maybe he just takes on f5. Alright, yeah, okay, that does get a piece. And a pawn. I'm just exploring how to win after this. Like queen h4 or something. But maybe in that position I would just simplify and play knight c2. Or try to get the bishop out of there, like boop boop, in an attempt to play that. There are lots of ideas. Queen e7, most common mistake. Queen e7, threatening checkmate. If queen takes, queen e1. So let's say bishop here. Like white wants to develop his pieces anyways. And now he's also covered the queen trap. Oh man. Alright, so I would queen with check. And I think that's a really important caveat. So bishop e5. Bishop c1. Bishop e5, bishop takes, king takes, h6, h3, h7, b2, h8 queens. Bishop e5, bishop takes, king takes, h6, b3. Not. What about bishop f4? Trying to hold the draw. Bishop f4, h6, bishop takes, king f5, king h5, king f4. Bishop f4, h6, king. Bishop f4, h6, bishop takes h6, king h6, king f5, c2, b3. Threatening b2. The threat is b2, bishop takes b2, and then king f4, winning the f3 pawn. Yeah, this is bishop takes, king f5. King f5, bishop c1, h3, f4, for example, or king h5, b2, bishop takes, king f4, and he can't stop me from winning the f-pawn. Kramnik with the white pieces against Alexei Shirov with the black. Oh man, I'm just getting so many good problems. Is this what happens when you're like an actual chess player and you play stuff of like an actual respectable level? You get all the good players. Kramnik versus Shirov. That's so nice. Man. Okay, I think one more for this session. So we want the checkmate, right? We want some sort of Arab mate here. Or a perpetual. A perpetual would suffice. Can I mate with two knights here? Knight check, king here. And after that, there's no other check in the position. And he does have queen check coming in. There's also knight check, pawn takes, knight check, king f1, knight check, king here. And that would be a perpetual. Wait, no it wouldn't. After the king goes to f2, I have nothing left. Knight check, pawn takes, knight check, king f1. And if I had a bishop, I could mate, but I don't. Rook takes check, king f1, knight check. Doesn't really work. So, how to do this? Wait, so there's knight check and then king and then rook e1. Could I perpetual that way? Knight check, pawn takes, rook check here, rook check here, king f. Knight takes, no, I'd have to play rook check here. Ah. Queen takes e5 is mate, so I have to be really careful here. Queen takes e5 is mate. That tells me that everything I need to do in this position is going to have to come with check. But I don't see the checks just yet that I need to be performing. Because rook takes g2 doesn't seem to work very well, and knight f3 check doesn't seem to work very well either. So I either need to give like a rook e1 check or a knight e2 check. I can play rook takes e4, stopping the mate. Rook takes e4, queen f6 check would be her only option. Wait, yes, but I'm still getting mated. So here, queen takes, I would need to play knight f5. G3 check doesn't, because if king here, then rook e4, queen check, king G3, queen F2 mate. But rook takes e4, queen f6, knight f5. I'm going to keep that in the back of my mind as a possible defensive resource. Because, I mean, rook and knight against queen is not winning, but it's not necessarily lost with my pieces this close to his king, especially if my own king is safe. But I don't see what taking on e4 and pinning my own knight is really going to give me. It's not going to give me any new squares against his king. Yeah, it gives me no new access points to his position, and it removes one of my pieces from the attack on the king. So I don't think it's that. But in all honesty, it's difficult to find what else to do. I could play rook check, king f, and then knight here. And that would defend. That would defend e5, and that would defend against queen f check, because then I could play king g3, and he wouldn't have queen f2 in that position. That's definitely one. That's a much better way to defend. Rook g2 check, king f1, then knight f3. This knight defends the rook, this knight defends this knight. And if queen f6 check, I can play king g3. And he doesn't have any follow-up check in that position. Am I threatening something? Rook check, king f, knight f3, and now I'm threatening am I really threatening? I guess what I'm threatening is just king g3, rook f2 mate. Or just king g3 and rook g1. But no. Rook f2 mate isn't on really because of the knights, but I could always play h5. That's a very long plan though. If there were just a perpetual that I could find in a couple of moves, I would play that. Doesn't continue? What the fuck? It doesn't continue. This was gonna be my calculation point. I was gonna continue to try to find the perpetual from here. I thought this was the most promising. Knight df3, queen b6. And then perpetual. Let's say rook g1 check. Maybe that's not good. Rook g1 check, queen takes g1, knight takes, king takes. And then with white has the outside pass pawn, so rook g1 check is probably bad. So yeah, the computer's right. I guess you just clear up the pawns. Two knights like this against a queen and no pawns is a draw. But the pawns aren't off the board yet. Another Shirov game. Vishy Anand and Shirov. I wonder if there's like some super deep idea of him getting mated. Feels maybe not. That problem didn't. It left sort of a. That wasn't like a very nice problem. It left a bad taste in the mouth. So I want to exploit this pin somehow. Huh. I wonder if I can take that. Queen takes d8, queen takes d8, bishop c4. And if I wonder if I can eventually get to two bishops and a rook against a lone queen. Queen takes d8, queen takes d8, bishop c4, king f8, bishop f6 check, king back to g8. But what about king g7? Then bishop e5 check would push him back. He would play king f8, and in that position I can't push him back into the pin. I could play bishop h6 here now. Bishop h6 now, before, because bishop h6, rook takes d5, rook e8 is mate. How does he cover? Bishop h6, and it's not a real threat, right? But my threat is just to play bishop c4. Bishop h6, and now I'm threatening bishop c4. Bishop h6, and let's say queen d6. That doesn't work because of queen takes d6. If rook takes d6, rook e8, checkmate. So bishop h6 is the move that I think is winning. Bishop h6, if he moves the If he moves the f8 rook, I can still play bishop c4. Or I'm sorry, if he moves the d8 rook, I can still play bishop c4. There's no way for him to control the c4 square. If he moves the queen would have to go to a5 or c7. And neither of those moves are helping. So yeah, bishop h6, and after any move, bishop c4. Queen f6 doesn't change things. That's not a mate threat. Or is it? Bishop c4, queen f1 check. Rook takes f1, and now rook d5. That doesn't work, because after bishop takes d5, the rook is still pinned. So bishop c4. Okay, well, now I check king f8 and bishop check. Or do I take... So bishop check, bishop check, rook f8. This was not a line that I considered. If bishop takes now, I'm getting mated. So it has to be rook e8 check. Now bishop check. King h8. I'm two bishops against a lone king. And this is not stalemate. That was a good problem. That was a really good problem. Someone said the threat after bishop h6 is rook e7. No, it's not. The threat after bishop h6 is... Yeah, the threat after bishop h6 is definitely not rook e7. The threat after bishop h6 is bishop c4. I don't know these players. Paragua, Mark, Sadorra, Julio Catalino. But yeah, mistakes made. Queen takes f7 check, which is no good. Queen takes f7 check. You don't control enough squares around the king to mate. As a matter of fact, you control almost no squares. After you give up the queen, you control no squares around the king at all. So yeah, that was a good problem. I really liked it. I figured that out just by figuring out that I saw from the first that the rook can't take on d8 if you play bishop. I saw that from like the first instant. But it was a matter of combining that with controlling other squares around the king. It was also what was it? I was thinking about playing what? What was I thinking about playing? I was thinking about some sort of bishop h6. Oh yeah, no, I can't remember. I was thinking about giving up my queen. I was thinking about giving up my queen in order to get two bishops and a rook against the lone queen. But I think there are a couple of reasons that's not winning, and even just the general idea, if you think about it. That's only like a +1 or +2 for white. 2 bishops and a rook against a queen. I mean, it's going to win. An alternate move in this position is queen c4. This is an alternate. Queen c4 apparently wins the exchange by force. But threatening mate and getting 2 bishops instead of the exchange is better. Okay, well that was a good session, and I hope that you enjoyed watching those very, very, very interesting problems. You guys will hear me next time. I hope that you enjoyed this session, and until the next time, good luck with your chess journey. Goodbye.